You know it's going to be a good day when you wake up before the piano man. Sometimes I am woken up by an earworm, that is the piano man. And it's nice to wake up before the piano man. That's all I'm saying. This fine community of Placerville and Diamond Springs has been doing, shall we say, a fine job of cleaning up the quote unquote homeless. And I say fine because they really have been sort of focusing on the drug and alcohol addicted and the mentally ill. But I have been suspecting that after that they will be going after the nomads. I think that's what's going on now. Now, typically, as a nomad, you want, typical, I don't know if there is a typical, but typically you want to kind of roll into a place as late as possible, like 8 o'clock. But I actually have had to do the opposite, which is try to get some sleep as early as possible. And so I can wake up nice and early and get out of Dodge, so to speak. I think nomads are kind of like sharks. You know, we just got to keep moving. Did the coffee. There's no rain right now, so it's time to do a morning walk. Let's go. There's definitely something special about the morning air, the crisp morning air. And right now we have a lot of that cold air from the Arctic and Alaska coming down south. So although we're going to be having some sunny days, we're also going to be having some colder weather coming in, which is fine with me. I just don't want no rain. My biggest problem with rain is lack of sun, like we're having right now. But without the sun, I can't charge my solar units. And if I can't charge my solar, I can't use electronic devices. So it's been really difficult to do much of anything regarding electronics. With that being said, I just posted a new video on my Picking a Daisy channel. This is right here. And that's a fun video. I recorded a new song or two, which you might actually be hearing right now. In fact, I've been really focused on the Picking a Daisy channel and doing the showing of the daisies, which is now officially called the Daisy Road Show. And it looks like this up and coming Sunday is going to be a good day for the road show. And for those unfamiliar, Picking a Daisy, or the Daisy Road Show, is just my collection of vintage Daisy BB guns. So as I rev up for this Sunday's road show, which is a whole week from now, I'm taking care of some of the mundane things, took care of taxes, paid some bills. I'm currently focused on working on content for my Magic site, and that will be linked in the Zeekers8.com hub. And of course, I'm sort of constructing and putting together some content exclusively for Zeekers8, which man, has become much more of a project than I had considered, but that's par for the course. I mean, the truth of the matter is, having websites and all these tools at my access makes life easier for me, as long as I utilize those tools properly. One of the things I've been focusing on is, at this point, not being really promoting or producing even, but just focusing on having fun and sharing as an artist. You know, especially on YouTube, where everything has gone so monetization heavy. When YouTube first started, when I first got into YouTube, it was just cool to be able to post videos. I just want to kind of focus on that. You know, it's just cool that we can post and share stuff. Hopefully other formats will come out that we can transition to, rather than waiting for something to happen. I think I'd rather just appreciate the fact that I can just post stuff and share stuff. It doesn't have to reach thousands or millions of people. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, so much as that's just not my focus. It shouldn't be my focus. One of the things I really miss about sticks and bricks is a toaster. The convenience of a toaster. Oh, the life one can lead when you have a toaster. And our local Rayleigh's here happens to have a toaster with a bagel setting. I think most nomads don't really use the term enemy, but challenges. But for tactical sakes, I like to think of the challenges as the enemy. And the enemy is multi-tiered, multifaceted. It's not just one group. The police aren't always our enemies. Security guards aren't always our enemies. The community of sticks and bricks aren't always our enemies. However, there are factions within all of those groups that do qualify as the enemy of the nomad, or, putting it kindly, some of our greatest challenges. Now, I'm not saying that the sticks and bricks community don't have the same challenges as us heels and wheels, because essentially what we're talking about here is bigotry, and we all have to deal with and suffer from the bigotry of others, if not even ourselves. And the nice word for bigotry is cognitive bias, which we all kind of have to one degree or another. But I think we can make a distinction between good old honest cognitive bias and bigotry. And I think that is when your cognitive bias is pushed upon other people and affect other people's lives. I think that's when cognitive bias turns into bigotry. For example, with nomads, the bigotry that we mostly have to deal with is being confused for homeless people and being treated like we're homeless. And being mistaken for a homeless person isn't all that bad. People often give you stuff without you asking for it. But then again, an argument can be made that we're receiving under false pretenses. And I'd also add that you're receiving these things from people who are poor judges of character. Keep that in mind. So, on an occasion, if the energy is right, I'll accept a handout. Typically, I'll stay away from a handout because I mean, I just don't want to validate their case of mistaken identity. I've been meaning to do a 5-year anniversary nomad sort of video. I guess this will be it. I've been living in my vehicle now for over 5 years. Within that 5-year period, I've had a few months here and there within sticks and bricks, and got to enjoy the modern conveniences. And I don't really need to get too long-winded. I'd say the biggest challenge of being a nomad over the past 5 years has certainly been people's bias, their bigotry. But that's probably been the issue for eons now, where nomads, due to the nature of nomads moving around, it's hard for static communities to get comfortable. All right, well, since I'm self-sponsored, this episode has been brought to you by Picking a Daisy. I've been doing some more music and stuff like that, so you can always check out my hub, Zeigler8.com, for all things Z. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and share. That helps. I'm told. For those of you following, you may have noticed that I've scaled back the posting of content and whatnot, and that's mostly because of the weather. But my guess is as soon as the weather breaks, I'll be posting more regularly again. I'd like to thank all of you that support the channel, or shall I say my channels. Thank you very much. It means the world to me. I'll see you next video.